And we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, Email Marketing Trends for 2024. I'm really glad that you are all here, and thank you, Dmitro, for joining us today. Dmitro is from Stripo. He's the CEO and founder of Stripo Email. Dmitro, could you talk a bit about Stripo?
Yeah, hello everybody. Stripo is email design platform. So it's place when you can create email and then send using any system used for sending. Just export in one click into GetResponse or even Gmail, Constant Contact, MailChimp, doesn't matter. Hundreds of integration. So with Stripo, you create email, perfectly good design that looks good in any email client, and just send it using GetResponse.
Perfect. Thank you very much for the introduction. So, everyone, please let us know where you are joining us from. And I would like to preface this that the whole webinar is recorded. So we are going to send you the recording like a couple of days after the webinar has concluded. So don't worry if you have to jump out or if you're a couple of minutes late. Don't worry about that. We will send you the recording as soon as possible. We actually prepared a few questions for you to break the ice. So please let me know if you see the survey on your screens. We have prepared 5 questions, and we are really curious about your answers. So please feel free to start voting by clicking on the one of the answers for each question. And this is a little bit of a spoiler for today's webinar because each of these questions is for a topic that we are going to cover today. So I'm really curious about your answers here. By the way, I'm also trying to look at the chat, and I see that we have quite an international audience here today. We have a lot of people joining us from the US. Oh, wait, sorry. Someone is typing that my sound is breaking up. Please, can you let me know if you can hear me correctly? Dmitro, do I?
Yeah, I can hear you very good.
Okay, great. Okay, so that might be an internet connection issue, but don't worry, everything is recorded. So yeah, a couple of seconds more to finish the voting, and then I'm going to publish the results. So last seconds to cast your votes, and then we shall begin. Okay, I think we have our answers. By the way, Dmitro, I don't know if you know this, but today's webinar is partially based on research that you recently published about the 2024 email marketing trends. Could you tell us a bit more about this paper that you published?
Yeah, so to be honest, discussing trends is a very tricky thing because of what is a trend? As usual, it's the same, personalization, segmentation, automation, the boring thing. By the way, in the questions, I see that how people think about email marketing. Pretty big audience says it's boring but practical. And the trends, like personalization, sounds like boring as well. The same every year, nothing new. But what makes the trend? What leads the new technologies like AI or some law regulation or changing in ecosystem like Google and Yahoo, if people know, announced the new restrictions about the authentication and others. And we just analyzed how it can really impact on your daily routine work, on your daily activity. So we wanted to publish the trends that matters, not just the marketing things that we have to sell, but just things that what's changing market. And yes, you can get this report. And I think today we will discuss some topics from it to clarify.
Absolutely. I'm just ending the voting right now and sharing the results. So our first question was, how do you send your newsletter campaigns? Do you just use like a free email address? Do you use your custom domain, or you use a custom domain email address? And this custom domain is also authenticated with SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. Now I see that quite a lot of people chose the third option, which is good. But still, some people are using free email addresses. We will talk about it later, but this is becoming a big no-no for 2024. As for the AI use, I'm actually a bit surprised here. I thought that more people will say that they are using it all the time. I know a lot of people in my work who are kind of like hesitant about AI. They're a bit like worried about its uses, and maybe they are a bit worried about that it's going to take their job. But AI is here to stay, and we will also cover this. Personalization. Yes, Christy, I see your question. The webinar is recorded. And we will send you the recording shortly. Regarding personalization, I see that not a lot of people use advanced personalization tactics, which is an area where Dmitro is quite an expert. So he will tell us about like more advanced personalization tactics that go beyond just using a match tag for the first name of the recipient. Interactive email is also an emerging trend that we are going to discuss. And Dmitro also prepared some live demonstration for us, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm glad that most of you like email marketing. I see quite a few people still find it a bit boring, which I quite get that. But I hope that by the end of this webinar, we'll show you some like engaging ways that you can use in marketing and make it a bit more fun. So with that out of the way, let's begin with discussing our first trend for today, which is email authentication. Now, the 5 main topics is, as you probably guessed by now, email authentication, AI tools, how you can personalize your emails and personalize experiences, gamification and interactive email content, and how you can use email as a storytelling medium. And also, we will accept questions. So feel free to ask your questions in the chat, and we will have a dedicated Q&A session at the end where we will answer all of them. So regarding email authentication, now, I don't know if you heard about this, but Gmail and Yahoo are adopting new policies for or new requirements for bulk senders. Now, who is a bulk sender? A bulk sender is basically, for our purposes, anyone who sends larger volumes of emails. So if you are an email marketer, or if you have a small business and you send newsletters, in the eyes of Google and or Gmail and Yahoo, you are probably a bulk sender. So these new regulations will definitely affect you starting from February 2024. Now, what are these new regulations? The new regulations are you will need to make sure that your spam rates always remain below 0.3%. You will need to authenticate your sender domain with DKYM, DMARC, and SPF. You will definitely need to use a professional email address. So this means that no more Gmail or free mail addresses. You will need a custom domain and and an email address with this custom domain. So as you can see here in the example, Elon Musk at gmail.com is not going to do it anymore. You will need to use elon.musk@tesla.com. And you will need to authenticate this sender domain with these 3 policies. And you will need to also include a clearly visible unsubscribe link in all of your emails. Now, what this all means? Well, if you use a free mail domain moving forward, Gmail and Yahoo will probably just reject your emails. So if you send a marketing campaign to like 1,000 people, and most of them are like Gmail and Yahoo users, which most of internet users use one of these services, they simply won't receive your emails. So for this reason, you will need a custom domain. But you are not done yet. Now you have the custom domain, you will need to create this email address with this custom domain. And then you will need to authenticate the sender domain itself. So these 3 policies ensure that they basically ensure that all of your emails come from you personally and not someone else pretending to be you, if that makes sense. So SPF is basically a record that you add to your domain's DNS settings, which tells these inbox providers like Gmail and Yahoo, which are the proper email service providers that you use. So for example, if you use GetResponse to send your emails, you will need to add a record that contains GetResponse. DKYM is basically like a seal. So this is a unique key that only you have, and this ensures that when you send an email, the inbox provider sees that this email really came from your end. And DMARC tells this inbox service what to do when either the DKYM or the SPF or both of these policies fail. What to do with the message. Should they accept it? Should they reject it or put it into quarantine? Now, this all sound pretty complicated. Don't worry about it. The only thing that you need to remember now is that you need to authenticate your domains, and you need a professional domain. And everything else will be provided to you at the end as the bonus in our bonus resources page. You can actually click on the link at the top of the presentation, where you will find some additional resources about how you can set up these DNS settings. One-click unsubscribe and clearly visible unsubscribe link. This basically means that you will need to allow your subscribers to easily unsubscribe from your email communications. If you use an email service provider like GetResponse, this has been taken care of, so you don't need to worry about that. Now on to AI and its impact on email marketing. Now, Dmitro, do you use AI in your day-to-day work?
Oh, yes. It's not just use, it just constantly improve and scale the way how we use it.
That's a great answer. Yeah, I actually like to outsource about half of my work to ChatGPT and similar AI tools. And yeah, the main thing that people worry about is that AI will take their jobs, right? But I don't think this is the case. I think AI is basically a new tool in your toolbox, right? So I kind of see the rise of AI in a way that, for example, when photography emerged, a lot of painters were afraid that they are going to lose their jobs because now anyone can make a photography and they will be out of a job, right? But this is not what happened. People, yeah, they can make some photos from their phones, but there are still painters and there are new jobs, there are photographers. So I kind of think that AI will be, in the long run, is maybe it will eliminate some positions, but there will be new ones instead of them. So you don't have to be afraid of AI, but I think, I mean, at least personally, and this is something that your research also suggests, Dmitro, that you need to learn to tame AI. You need to learn how to use it to the best of your advantage. These are just a couple of ideas that you can use, for example, ChatGPT for. I like to use it for brainstorming new ideas. I like to use it to just ideate, for example, when I'm writing an article, just to create like a rough draft or like an outline. It is amazing for proofreading, rewriting, and summarizing content. It can also help you if you are ever get stuck with something. ChatGPT probably has an answer for that, especially the newer editions like ChatGPT 4 that has internet access. So it can also create images for you. It can create thumbnails for your videos. It can create art for your marketing campaigns, creative assets. It can also analyze large data sets. So, for example, if you are in a fortunate position to have like tens of thousands of subscribers, you can use AI tools to segment them and to learn new information about their behavior. And this is just a really small subset of what you can do with AI. If you don't know about these sites, we are not affiliated with them, but I think they are really cool. So they are worth to check out. They are called, there's an AI4that.com and futuretools.io. These are sites that list all the upcoming and all the latest AI tools for basically any purpose that you can imagine. There are literally like thousands of tools on these sites, and yeah, there are some really cool ones there. So make sure to check it out. Now, when we are talking about AI, we definitely need to talk about ChatGPT specifically, because this is the one that started this AI trend. I actually urge you to subscribe for ChatGPT 4. Again, not affiliated, just a fan. But the ChatGPT 4 is so much better than the previous versions. It can browse the web. It can analyze images. It has a built-in DALL-E connection, so it can generate images for you. It can actually connect to Zapier, and through Zapier, it can connect to thousands of third-party software. So you can actually create workflows with ChatGPT. It can write code for you. I know nothing about coding, but I automated some of my tasks with Python code written by ChatGPT. And it also just recently launched on App Store, where anyone can make their own GPT version with custom knowledge base and custom actions and custom behavior. And I think this is something that's going to be really huge in the coming weeks and months. So yeah, if you have ChatGPT 4, definitely check out the new GPT store. And if you don't, I think it's worth to try out at least for 1 month, just to see if you can benefit from it. Now, there is still some misconception around ChatGPT and these AI tools. So I wanted to give you a few pointers on how to interact with ChatGPT. So whenever you are writing a prompt, or basically telling ChatGPT what to do, or what kind of answer you are looking for, try to give as much context in your prompts as possible, because ChatGPT, especially in the later generations, has become really good on picking up context, and all of these context clues help ChatGPT generate better results for you. You can use examples in your prompts. So, for example, if you want ChatGPT to write in a specific style, include a snippet of text in that specific style. Now, another controversial take is that try to use English whenever possible when talking with ChatGPT or interacting with ChatGPT, because English is its main language. It has been taught on many different languages, but obviously it was used to teach GPT in English is infinitely larger than it is in Hungarian. So whenever I interact with ChatGPT, I use English specifically because of that. If you don't get the result that you are looking for the first try, don't get discouraged. Try refining your prompts. So try to, for example, if you get after an unsuccessful attempt, when it gives you some answer, try nudging it in the right direction. Try different approaches, and eventually you will get the result that you want. But be aware that ChatGPT can sometimes hallucinate. Hallucination basically means that it just makes up stuff. And this relates to the question that I see in chat. Someone is asking, is ChatGPT thinking? It's not thinking in the traditional sense. It's basically, I am not in a position to to actually educate you on how it works, because I know far too little about it. But my understanding is that it's not thinking per se, but it's basically trying to guess what kind of answer you want. In a way, it mixes and matches text that it was trained on, but in a way that is going to be indistinguishable from human interaction real soon. But it has no thinking on its own, if that means. Yeah, this is my best explanation for ChatGPT. Dmitro, if you have a better analogy, then feel free to chime in. But yeah, I think this is more like a data scientist task to explain it than a marketer's.
Yeah, I think in the Q&A session, if we will have a time, I will show some examples that will illustrate the definition and the powerful of ChatGPT, AI usage for analyzing things, for writing a code, for applying a code. And to be honest, really it writes a code when you don't even know when it does. When you provide the data, it cannot improve it. It just write a code that changes the data. And you can get this code, you can reuse it. And so there are so many options. I don't think that we have a time in this session, but I'm very open to answer any question in Q&A.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. We actually did a webinar with Leslie Samuel, one of our partners, a few months ago. And he was talking about how a solopreneur can use AI to their advantage. And it has some really great insights. But either way, one more thing that I would like to mention here is that, so yeah, ChatGPT generates great content, but you must make it your own. So don't, for example, if you are using ChatGPT to write an email for a newsletter, don't use it as the final version. By all means, use ChatGPT to generate the first draft, but then you will need to put in the effort to make it your own. People will figure out if you are like if you are using AI generated content to interact with them, and they don't like it. People like it when like a brand and the company is personal and speaks to their subscribers directly. But it's definitely a great starting point, and it can be a great source of inspiration. And there is one more thing that I wanted to mention here is that since this AI boom, GetResponse has been really big on trying to implement as much AI features to our email marketing platform as we can. And our developers were really busy in the past few months, but now we have an AI website and landing page generator, an AI email generator that writes the full email for you, an AI campaign generator, which creates a landing page, a welcome email, and a newsletter for you just by providing some really basic information on your business. We have an AI-powered email assistant that helps you write emails, and it's in our drag-and-drop email editor. You can use it there. We have an AI-powered subject line generator. You can create ad copy for paid ads with GetResponse. And we also have another feature which is called AI product recommendations that basically learns, for example, if you are running an e-commerce store, it learns how what kind of products your subscribers like to buy, and it suggests products for them in the newsletter specifically tailored to their interests, which I think is really cool. But now that we are on the topic of personalization, great segue. Now, Dmitro, it's your turn to tell us about personalization and how you can make the most of it.
Yeah, personalization. It's a trend that was, if you would ask any email geek, guru, I don't know, what is a trend, and when he answers personalization, it's right for 20 years ago, and I'm sure it would be the right answer for the next 20 years. The only difference is the way we apply the personalization, because of email is a direct channel that allows us to speak directly for the person and send very unique content. So a lot of people 20 years ago, maybe some now, based on your answers, some still send the same email for everybody, think that personalization is just use some personal data in your mail, like first name match tag. Like in this example is hi in English email, but using Cyrillic in a name because of the form was submitted with Cyrillic data. Does it like bring the feeling of personal communication? I think not. It just you copy and paste the name in the wrong format. The same when you use the data which doesn't add additional value into your communication. It's not a personalization, or maybe it's personalization, but which doesn't give you some ROI from using this data. Another way of using personalization is when like hyper personalization, when you send the same campaign but with very different content. Usually it's very important for promotion when you have a lot of deals and you want to send the special deal for the people who love sports and cosmetic have convert much better than for other people. So you have the same structure of email, but different messages. And it's not very big difference between the first variant and the next variant if it doesn't fit expectation of your customers. So I would say that personalization is not only about content. It's about sending the right message to the right people, the right moment of time, using the right channel. It's not only email. Doesn't matter really. It's email or web push or mobile push or text message. Doesn't matter. Viber or WhatsApp, Telegram, doesn't matter. What's important is that your message delivered to your customer who really appreciate this message in the right context, using the right language, and you can continue to use these rights. And the statistic, it's not the word statistic. The company who think they communicate personally, the number is different from customers who think that they receive personalized message. But what I wanted to say, that to have this right is you can do only when you have a data, because of the data is a fuel for your personalization engine. And we have to understand how it works. First, you have a data, you get the data from all channels you can have, any external channel about user behavior on the site, about the purchase history, the activity, any events, webinars, the offline activities. So all omni-channel communication, you get the data and you use in one place to prepare the segment. And when you have a segment, when you have a lot of segments, you can have automate sending message, which you can personalize. And then you choose a channel. So when we go to the idea, then personalization, choosing the right contact, which is segmentation. Using in the right moment of time, usually it's for automation. So I have a data that you tried to buy something and didn't complete your order. So it means abandoned carts. Or maybe you did a search for something, abandoned views, or maybe extended variants when somebody was on a site trying to search for something, and now you have a promotion for this category of goods. So you can do this kind of automated email. Or maybe he has a birthday, or maybe it's some deadline of his loyalty program. Any kind of automation leads to find the right time of a personalization. And then when you have a reason to send a message, you can personalize the content of this message. And here, usually personalization engine and recommendation engine works. So it builds the message, but the message can be delivered using any channel. It could be email, SMS, push, blah, 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 a lot of different channels, much more than in the slide. So it's a framework. The personalization is not how you use merge text. It's not about programming. It's an ecosystem. And the fuel of this ecosystem is the data you have to gather. Another thing, we can speak about personalization very long time, but one thing which is not obvious is a language. And there are data that show that, and maybe you know that it's much easier to sell you if people will speak with your native language. For example, for me, you can hear from my accent. My native language is Ukrainian. So it's much easier for me to sell when I get a message on my native language. I know Portuguese a little bit, I know English, I even, shame on me, know Russian, but it's hard for me to sell when you will speak in other language. So it's very hard to translate all messages, but there are a lot of mechanics, especially with ChatGPT, AI, and we do a lot of in Stripo. Then do this translation, keeping your design automatically. So it's just few insight about the personalization. The next topic,
Yeah, sorry. Just one question that I'm really curious about is that can you tell us about some like data points that you can use to better segment your emails campaigns, for example?
Oh yeah, yeah. Data points. It's relating to the data gathering. For example, for e-commerce, I think that the best when you aggregate all data flows. You set the tracking script on the site, and you can gather all activity on the site. You integrated your product feed and your promotional feed, so you know the categories of the goods he's trying to search, and it generates event for e-commerce. For other kind of businesses, you have other data stream. For SaaS, you have registrations, you have usage, you have subscription details. For a loyalty program, when you have something so all the data you have. And data point, you just need to follow your customer journey from the very first meeting when you registered on your site, or just leave your contact, or maybe before this, when he started to search, that, okay, we know this, what we can do if we know this differently. And if you feel that you can do something differently than in generic, it's a point you have to think. I would also discuss what gives you a bigger value, ROI. So how to sort what to do first. I'm sure that I will answer to this question if you will ask on the Q&A session, because of its pretty mature discussion. Personalization is a key of all direct communication. It's core.
Yeah, perfect answer. Thank you.
The next, I say, trend, because of a lot of things changed in the world. And one of the biggest changes is how remote clients operate with interactivity, how many tools you have to play with your customer. What is the gamification? So first, I like the definition. Is how to use game-like components to non-game activities. So it's from product point of view, but to keep people motivating and participate in things they plan to do. It's what is a game-like components. In the resources on your landing page, you can download. We have several books for localization. I mentioned how to use it, and for gamification, and a lot of examples. What is gamification point? You use point system or some rewards or some, I don't know, avatars or fighting visible. So something or a competition table. If you use Duolingo or something, you met a lot of gamified activities. But what you can do in email is so restricted. It's so complicated to write an email code. And here I can show you some examples. Let me share a screen, and yes, sharing a window, share. And I will show you my Gmail, so it's a real Gmail, and give you some examples how gamified email can look like. It's in the first variant. For example, it is we send this email on a Christmas. What we can do as a SaaS, as a service on a Christmas, we cannot give promotion for everybody. We have million users around the world, but we decided to send them like Christmas cards and give an ability to send, to draw in email and send Christmas card to us. And as a result, we received, oh, sorry, I wanted to show you statistic. I prepared. Where it is? We received thousands of different Christmas cards for people who even wasn't subscribed to our newsletter. Email was redirected. So, and people send us, I don't know why they're sending penguins to us, but penguins was very popular icon. People, I don't know why. A lot of Christmas trees. Sometimes we receive the root images, but people play. They was very surprised that it was sent. Then we had a sorry for that. So, but yes, people was involved into a process, and usually the results pretty good. We have much bigger results for emails gamified than for regular promotion. Not only in engagement, it's even for average revenue per user after that. Okay, let me give you an example just for you to understand how many things you can do inside emails. For example, here for Halloween, we just used easy level. So we show the picture, they can concentrate, remember details, and when time is expired, we show the questionnaire to them. Where is the questionnaire? The questionnaire, I don't know. You have to let me update my Gmail. It shows a question: how many months you can see this? What's the color of the liquid, or others they can show, please. And then you can submit using the. Okay, something went wrong. Sorry for that. I have no idea. It's live demo. It happened. So other thing. We did like a spam attack. We wanted you need to click to hit against the spam, and it have a count how many things you read, and in some period of time. It shows how you protect your email from a spam and give you some label, some achievements, and how it works better than others. Or it could be questionnaire, like how to pronounce the name of our service. It's Stripo or Stripo. Okay, people usually say Stripo, but right way is a Stripo. So yes, it's right, and some funny story about it. It's kind of storytelling we will mention today. So you can answer some questions, and it says a lot of interactive stuff. Other thing you can do, like a game, it was for Father Day, help the kitty to find his father, to build the route, how could do this, it was easy. So when you do this, you have, let me help the kitty. Yes, and here, yes. And when you do this, you have some gift. For Easter, we have, so we have hundreds of different games that really improve the conversion. For here, you have to click on all X you see, and when you summarize all numbers, 10, 20, I think, yes, 20. When you write, you say, okay, you're right, it's a 20% discount. So a lot of examples you can see on the link for game, but how easy to do the thing. By the way, answering for till I'm sharing a screen off topic. It was a question how to understand that my the mark SPF is correctly. You can do it very easily. You can go, for example, in your Gmail and say show regional. And in your regional, you will see that SPF passed, DKM passed, DMARC passed, so everything is okay. There are some other questions regarding it, but we will have Q&A session to show you details. Now I have to switch back to the presentation. So how to do this? There are different ways to do this. One of the way is send AMP. AMP is a new technology that allows to write special kind of scripts. And if you know how email works, in one email you send plain text and HTML For some devices like old-fashioned BlackBerry, you have only text. Everybody now can show HTML. But also, if some clients like Google or Yahoo, they can show additional AMP HTML. Interesting thing that Apple doesn't support this technology. But when you look to your audience, you can see that it's shared between the Apple, Gmail, and others. But Apple use different way to do interactivity. They can use advanced CSS style and advanced HTML technique that Gmail doesn't allow. So you need to cover all your audience and have to create the same interactivity in HTML and in AMP HTML, and also for, I don't know, like for BlackBerry or some old Outlook versions that doesn't support either HTML and AMP. So provide all three variants: a normal HTML, fallback version, AMP HTML, a lot of work. But here is a thing that I like. What is the common between the space technology and email creation, and between the SpaceX Falcon 9 and Stripo email? Both very expensive, very hard to support. You have to do computer science and space technology. But when you use modules, it became cheaper every time when you already created. You just need to refuel the rocket and you can reuse the same modules you already created. You launch once, you return back to the land, to the earth, and reuse. The same in email. When you create or somebody create advanced gamified technology, you can reuse it easily without any technical thing. You just need to refuel it with the data. And for this thing, for example, we in Stripo, we provide this. Let me share the screen again. We created like builders for the things like questionnaire. You can create the questions. I have already predefined some question. You can just fill with the data with options, say what is the correct answer, and you already have an email that will work for AMP, and with interactive HTML it will work as well. And all you need to do is just export results with both versions, upload to your sender. It could be GetResponse, it could be any sender you use, if it supports AMP or only HTML, and send it, or save it into your Stripe account if you have account in a Stripe. And then when you do this, you can, any email, you can very easily export to any system. It's not kind of demo. I just want to show you that it's easy. In one click, you can use any provider for sending. So returning back to the presentation.
Just a quick question. You can send it to GetResponse as well, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's in one click. You can export into GetResponse. But only thing about in Q&A, I can do a demo for this. GetResponse still doesn't support AMP for export in API. So you can only do HTML part for this. Yes. So what I wanted to say, save your time. New technology brings new trends, and you have to be on a wave, not just to be first, just to use more advanced things and bring interactivity and flexibility into your users to improve your engagement. Another, it's about interactive modules. You have all links on our landing page. And storytelling, again, it's not kind of trend. It's I would say a lot of resources say it's a trend, but you always had an ability to speak directly. It just works. And it worked 10 years ago, and it works now, and I'm sure we will discuss it later. But not very much companies do this. So I would suggest to take your attention on this, trying to use this, but it has to be embedded as a philosophy of your communication, not just one email that improves performance. It's just how you share, how you open. So when you do some storytelling and sharing your life or your opinion, so you're open to your audience, if it's relevant, then it makes sense and people will get to you with the insights. So it's just a few trends. There are much more can be. We will have now Q&A, and I can share a lot of data with AI, a lot of things about authentication. You know that one of the technology trend is a BIMI. BIMI is a thing that allows to create like your logo and shown in Gmail and some other email clients. But BIMI requires authentication. AMP, you cannot use AMP till you have all the KIM, DMARC, and SPF strategy. Some email clients didn't allow to send from public domain. So it's not allowed that your email will be in a spam and maybe in just not delivered at all. So it's not something new, nothing to worry about. But if you don't have this, and I see in questionnaires that some companies still don't use authentication, I would not say it's a mistake. It's just lack of knowledge. You have to check that everything is configured properly. It must have. It just, I would say that it's hygienic thing. It's like cleaning your teeth every day. You cannot do marketing without the stuff. Yes, it is. I think we are in time and still have a time for questions.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dmitro. It was super insightful. So, topics that we have covered today were AI in email marketing and how why you need to be authenticated and why you need to follow the best practices for email marketing so your deliverability won't take a hit. You have talked about gamification, personalization, and storytelling, and how you can make more email marketing more fun and engaging. So I hope that some of the folks who at the beginning said that email marketing is boring, maybe some of them are reconsidering their position. We have two special offers today. One is from us. We are offering a 10% off for new customers with GRWeb, 10% off on all of our plans. Stripo is offering a 3 months free access to the medium Stripo plan with the promo code Stripo Trends 24. But this is like a real flash sale because it's only valid until the end of January, 30th of January, and for new customers only. Now, we would like to open the floor to questions, but before we do so, we have prepared a list of bonus resources for you. You can find the CTA button here at the top of the screen. So you can just go there and you can browse among these additional resources freely. We'll also send these in email later on, but feel free to save it for later use. And now let's hear some questions. So I'm going to go into the Q&A mode, and let's publish this one. Jess has a question. Do you think games can be useful in emails coming from enterprise companies? I would love to answer this first, but then, Dmitro, then I would love to hear your thoughts as well. My take on this is absolutely. Absolutely, because you are not... so no matter if you are a solopreneur or if you are the CEO of a large enterprise international company, you are talking with humans. Even in the B2B sector, the people reading your emails are other humans just like you. And people like fun. They like lighthearted. They like engagement. So absolutely. Actually, and this is some blatant self-promotion, but we have just created a comic book which explains the basics of email deliverability. And it was a super fun project, and this is not something that like you usually see at these like large serious SaaS companies. But the comic books is a huge success, and people love it. And we are in the B2B sector, so we by default we should be like this like serious and no fun allowed company, but we are not, and we are having fun with it, and our customers really like the approach. So I don't see any reason why you shouldn't do this gamification. But Dmitry, what do you think?
Can I add something here?
Absolutely.
So, first of all, totally agree with you. The business person, when he returns from a home, becomes the normal people, and he really normal people at work. But we also have to understand that gamification is not a game. It's not necessarily a game. It's how to use game-like component for non-game activity. It means a questionnaires. It's when you ask the question, like we today, we didn't play with you with any game. We just asked the question and you fill the form and we share the result. It's a way of communication, like a winning thing, you can in Duolingo. I'm not playing. I'm learning the words in Portuguese or in English or in other languages. And they said that today you was or this week more active than last week. It's kind of gamification that I'm involved in the process. I wanted to beat myself, or maybe for business things like you use like more technologies in email creations than your competitors, more than 92%, but still not the best one. So it's kind of gamification, awards or loyalty program. Loyalty program is gamification in a core. You can extend. Really, the way how you can extend can be much more advanced. It's not necessarily you don't need to, I don't know, play with a ball or spend your hours doing some nonsense. It just game-like components, which we call gamification for non-game activities. So it's important to understand. And for corporate segment, it works even better because
Absolutely.
of corporate segment is very boring segment, but communication is not boring thing.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a really great quote. We are going to use it in the webinar promotions. We have another question. I think you have basically answered this during your segment, but I would also like to chime in. Bethan is asking, how do you know if your domain is authenticated with these three policies, the SPF, DKYM, and DMARC policies, or not? Yes, you can send yourself an email and check the email headers and see if the email has passed these three policy checks. But what I like to do personally is I'm sending this link in chat. There is a really cool site called mailtester.com. You just like a spam score basically of out of 10 how spammy your email is, and the higher the lower the score, the worse your setup is. It will also tell you if, for example, if your SPF is not configured properly, or if you are not DKYM authenticated. So yeah, really cool website. Feel free to use it. We have some questions. I think this question was asked in a couple of different ways, but basically the question is: are these interactive emails mobile responsive?
Yes, for sure. So it depending on how you use the internet. It's the same as HTML. You can write a good-looking email, but it looks good on desktop, but not very good on mobile. You have to validate. There are a lot of services to do this. But if you're using best practices, when it will work, it definitely can be supported on mobile. And sometimes in mobile, it's even better than in desktop, but you have to test. It's a tricky thing to write an email that works in any interactive email, in any device. And sometimes it's not possible, and you need to care about fallback. What happened if you have old device or old demo client or have some internet connection problem? But sometimes it's communicate in real time. And what if you open email when you don't have internet connection and you cannot submit data? So you have to think, is it possible? Gmail client will not show you M content when there is no internet connection. Then it should show typical HTML fallback. And if you have some problem with fallback, maybe you can provide the link to the web version of email that in your browser works. So you always have to think about all different variants and combination. More complexity, more responsibility from you, and quick answer, yes, it's possible and it works on mobile devices.
Great, thank you. We have two really detailed and really great questions from Adam Stapley and Walda, but both are a bit too technical for me, unfortunately. Both are related to these authentication policies and how it works with GetResponse. So what I would suggest to you both is that please reach out to our support team. I'm going to send you the link where you can reach our support agents. They are available 24/7, and they will be able to put you in contact with one of our deliverability experts who can answer.
But I can answer to the question. Really.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you send using your Gmail account and you send using GetResponse, can you configure everything? Yes, because of first, SPF, you need in your DNS add the IP or group of IPs that allows send email from your domain. And it's first have to be Gmail account, it's allowed, and GetResponse. So it's a text record in DNS. Next question about the key. What is the key? It's signature. You sign all emails you send. All emails you send from GetResponse has his own signature. From Gmail has his own signature. But in DNS, you have the other key, private and public key, that can read the signature and check that it's you who allowed it and it's really your email. And you just need to have this encryption key in your DNS for GetResponse and for Gmail. And it's all just configuration. NDKM is just strategy. DMARC. It's just strategy that allows what to do if something wrong. But everything will be fine. Only the restriction that you need to use level more than quarantine. It means none. Hey, if something problem, no problem. I will ignore it. Quarantine, if something wrong, put in a spam, and reject, if something wrong, don't show in any place. So you always have to set the strategy more than this and use GetResponse, YesPo, MailChimp, any system you want for sending email. Just put record in DNS.
Yeah, that's also right. And we have time for one last question. Is there an easy way to determine someone's native language with a large list? Rick is asking this question. I think this is in relation to the translation of your newsletter communications. Well, I know that in GetResponse you can basically geolocate your subscribers, so you know where they are based. This is like not 100% accurate because some people are using VPNs and whatnot. So this is like an approximation. You can obviously ask them. For example, when you are, you can add a custom field for your subscription forms, where you are asking your subscribers to specify their language that they want to receive communications in. These are all viable strategies. Dmitry, do you have another solution for this?
Oh yeah, there are so many ways. How first it's yeah, location is good, but you can travel and when you or VPN, but also it's a language that you set in your browser or what you use for registering. And usually, if you get the content in English and fill the English form, definitely you at least understand English good. And in registration form, it have to be option to change the language. And later, when you send email, you should always have an option to change communication language that better to you. And even this, you continue to get the data about the language you use in communication when you choose on a site. Usually, if you have multilingual site, usually log into a Stripe and you can choose up to how many languages, up to 10 languages we support. You choose the language, we know your language. But it doesn't, and personalization, localization is also related from the time and my time zone. Because of for some, even here, for me, I'm at the moment in Portugal, I'm living in Ukraine, some of you from US, we have different time. And for some people, we say good day, for others, good morning, and some good night. So it's also personalization based on localization. Just gather all the data, all the touch points, and use data for segmentation better for in automated way, because of otherwise you will have thousands of segments you cannot really manage.
Thank you,
Yes.
Dmitry. Yeah, that was absolutely wonderful. It was a pleasure doing this webinar with you. I really hope that everyone who attended learned something from it, and I hope you had a great time. With that being said, feel free to grab your free resources. Don't forget about our discount codes, and see you on the next one. Bye, everyone. Have a great day.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Nice to meet all of you, and thank you for participating.
Thank you. Bye bye.